Hey, what's up, YouTube? I wanted to do a video here reacting to this channel here, Deconstructing Narcissism. Um, I'm subscribed to him, and I've been watching him for a little while, and he makes some pretty good videos. I agree with a lot of what he says, but this video in particular caught my attention, and I just kind of wanted to react to it and give my opinions on what he's saying. Um, but yeah, go check out his channel. He's got some good videos, and he says a lot of the things that a lot of people don't know about and or don't want to hear about, but he says it anyway. So yeah, let's start this video.
You know, people in society, people around the world, they believe in a lot of different gods. Vishnu, Ra, Allah, Odin, Hades, Zeus. But there's one universal God that really everybody needs to bow down to, and one that we've permanently appointed as the real true God. At least it feels like most of society has. And that's money. You see, the God of money decides who gets heard, who gets seen, who feels important, and who gets left behind.
Yep, I mean, he's right. This is the society we live in where money dictates all for the most part. It certainly dictates what kind of life we can live here, what kind of apartment we can rent, if you can even afford that these days, what kind of car you can drive, what kind of groceries you can get, what kind of friends you'll have, what kind of women you may attract. Unfortunately, that's not all women, but that's his point is that in this country, at least, I don't know about other countries, in the US, without money you can't do anything, and that tends to put you in situations where you're basically struggling to do anything. You can't survive without money. And the problem is that it's been elevated to a level to, like he's saying, it's worship. Whether people know it or not, they are worshiping money. A piece of paper that's fiat currency, it's really useless. I mean, the dollar, the power of the dollar is greatly decreased, and it's just, it's just sad. Like, money shouldn't be, that important. And there are plenty of ways societies have functioned without money, like bartering and whatnot, which he gets into. But yeah, I totally agree with him here.
We've made money our God in this society, especially in America. We've made money the source of everyone's happiness. We've made money the thing that everybody needs in order to do anything in this world. When it comes to even so much as bathing yourself or wiping your own ass or even eating something previous generations were able to do without money through a bartering system. We've made money so important that we're willing to step all over each other in corporations. We're willing to lie to people's faces in order to obtain it. We're willing to do questionably moral and outright immoral things in order to obtain it, even if it's just a little bit. We put money in front of people, relationships. We put screens in front of us instead of people. We've made money the main priority in our life, in every facet of our lives.
Yep, totally agree. I mean, people will do immoral things for money. And especially in the corporate world, you're rewarded for this behavior, for lying, cheating, screwing somebody out of their money. It's just, you get ahead by screwing people over in corporate America for the most part. And the fact that a piece of paper can cause somebody to become an immoral person and completely screw over another person just so they can get ahead is pretty much the downfall of this country. And when that happens, it's just, there needs to be a complete and total collapse to reset things back to normal, because at this rate we're headed for complete and utter disaster.
Government keeps printing it out over and over and over and over again, printing more and more and more of it, and the only thing that we can do is buckle ourselves in and prepare for yet another work day where we have to work for our God, aka money, for pennies on the dollar, and come home at the end of the day. Most people don't come home to anything special. Most people don't come home to any kind of love, care, or attention. Most people are in complete destitution, and poverty. You either have money in this world or you have nothing. You're either seen because you have money, or you're not seen.
Yeah, so back in the day, like, the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe some of the 80s, even the 90s a bit, your hard work paid off. So, yeah, you had to work hard, but you could have a decent life back then for working a blue-collar job. Like, you didn't have to make six figures like today to even just be able to afford to rent an apartment. So, yeah.
Because you don't have money. You're either heard because you have money and success, or you're not heard because you don't have money and success. You either get left behind because you have no money, or you get to advance in line because you do have money. You get to be in society. You get to have a life. You get to have friendships and relationships. You have people around you. You get to have some kind of, you get to actually enjoy your life. One without money in this society only lives a life of destitution, poverty, little friends, little to no relationships, and little to no home. And that's the life I've lived. That's the life I've lived for. I always lived a horrible life before, even if we were upper middle class. But at least for most of my adult life, especially ever since getting out of my parents' house, for most of my adult life, not all of my adult life, that's the way I've lived. Going from place to place, never having a place of my own, always worrying about money, always counting money, always trying to figure out how I'm going to survive another day. And, of course, being homeless twice in a row. Once couch surfing on a friend's couch, and the other time was in a shelter.
Yeah, so it's even worse if you don't have any kind of family support. So, like he's saying, it's already hard enough to survive with family support, but like if you're in a situation where you have nobody to rely on but yourself, and you don't have high level corporate job experience, or you don't have a good chunk of a savings, then it's just even harder. It's exponentially harder, and it's almost impossible. It pretty much is impossible now to dig yourself out of that. At least it's impossible in the job market. You're going to have to get creative, especially with AI coming, in order to somewhat be able to live a decent life, because doing the traditional 9 to 5 isn't going to cut it.
And the more, I look around, the more I see just how much value we put on, just how much more value we put into money, how much we care about money, and how little we care about people. We care about people so little that we are literally willing to, for example, in California, push them off the sidelines into a different place, as if you were using an imaginary shovel and just scraping these dirty, filthy, disgusting piece of shit homeless people into another area. That's how little we care about people. We care so little about the homeless problem that we're not even able to cut the military budget that we spend billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of dollars every year in America, at least, just so we can fix the homeless problem. We are a generation, especially people who have wealth and who have power. We live in a society in which the people who have the most amount of power to do something care the least amount to actually do it.
Yep, I mean, take 1% of the military's budget and put it towards the homeless problem, and that would make a huge difference. And yeah, the 1% own all the money, and they don't care about anybody but themselves. They're hoarding all the money while everybody else crumbles and the middle class is destroyed. And this is going to lead to a point where there's going to be the elite rich and then everybody else, which, look in history how that's gone. What happens to people when they're completely and utterly controlled by a small group of people who own all the wealth?
And this is the result. This is the result of generations of wealth disparity, generations of putting money before people, profits before health, and just in general, praising only the top percent of people, the top 5 to 10% of people, only caring about the top percent, 1 to 10% of people, and saying screw you and goodbye to everybody else at the bottom. Like, this is the result of years and years and years and years of making money essentially our god. People making money their god, and people refusing to, who have money, people who have money refusing to help people who don't have money, who are poor and in need.
And you really, that just does not make sense to me. Like, they have so much money that it's like they can never spend it in one lifetime, and I hate to call out, the baby boomers, but I mean, they came up when things were exponentially easier. And so, like, you have this group of people who have all the money, and all of us younger people are now screwed, and we're going to have to clean up the mess that they made while they sip margaritas on the beach and enjoy their couple mil in the bank until they eventually pass, while we are left here broke, and us millennials sold the American dream, and some of us were able to at least somewhat get it, but think about Gen Z and the following generations. No, they're not going to own anything unless they're found a way to cheat the system and, amass a whole mess of wealth. But yeah.
But yeah, this is what this kind of society you get. They say that greed will eventually destroy the world, and it's pretty much come to that point. Now, I'm not a believer in God, because I personally don't think if a God existed, any loving God if it existed, it would not let it get to this point. But even people who once believed in God, even people who once went to church, who once worshipped, have started to completely give up and just throw themselves into material possessions and making money and material things. Now, the difference is, I don't believe in a God. I believe in being a good person. I believe what is morally correct.
Yeah, good point, man. I mean, that's a solid way to live. What you just said. Yeah, the problem. So I'm a Christian, but the problem that I've seen with the church since I became a Christian and started going to church is they do not teach what the Bible says. They pick and choose certain verses to tickle the people's ears, and this results in people being more worldly because they're not really learning truly what was written in that book. They're given just the basics, and that it's like, imagine I wanted to be an auto mechanic, right? And I went to school, and then they taught me how to do an oil change, right? And then that's it. They stopped there. That's it. So I want to be a mechanic, learn how to work on cars, but the school only taught me how to do an oil change. So, yeah, it's just not going to work. And it's the same with the church. They're giving you that basic info, but they're not teaching you the true doctrine, which would lead people to become better people and not so worldly. So, yeah, I mean, I hold my faith strong in Jesus, but the church, I don't really even go to church, to be honest. Maybe a few times for the fellowship, but there's nothing there to be learned, really.
I believe in not screwing people over. I believe in doing things the right way, not stepping on over people, not crossing people's boundaries. I still believe in being a good person. Even if there is no reward, even if there are no golden gates that are going to go open up at the end of my life and, grant me some kind of safe passage or whatever to eternal life. That's what I believe. I don't believe in putting money over profits over people. I don't believe in stepping over people in order to obtain wealth. I don't believe in doing whatever you want to make the most amount of money, especially if it involves hurting people. I don't believe in that. But it just seems like more and more people these days do. It seems more and more people these days have made money their god, and have thrown morals completely out of the window and are willing to do anything and everything to get it, no matter the cost, especially, like I said, if it hurts people. And it's just sad, especially in America. And I don't know if I don't see it turning around anytime soon. I don't personally think, like I said, I don't personally believe in a God or Jesus or anything. I believe this is a morale issue. This is a morale issue. This is a fatherless home issue. This is a bad parents issue. And this is just what happens when you put everybody, enough people put material things over people, and people become more and more narcissistic. Like, this is the result. This is the result of everybody approving each other, saying yeah, it's okay. It's okay to always put yourself first. It's okay to be.
Yeah, man, it's poor parenting for sure. Most of Gen Z got a bit of the old world experience that us millennials got. I'm an early millennial, 38, and I can recall a far different world that was much better before all this crap technology came, and I'd rather live in that time period, to be honest, than now. I mean, the internet's nice, maybe the 05 to 08 internet. If we could have that in the 90s, that'd been the perfect time. But yeah, I mean, these kids are sat in front of iPads, iPhones. I mean, it's social media. It's cooked, man. Society's cooked. The generations from here on out are gonna have no idea how we used to live, playing outside. I mean, I was outside all the time. We had video games, but it was just, we played them once in a while. We were out doing things. skateboarding, playing sports, taking the, or where I'm from, you take the train down to downtown and explore. Like, we just did all kinds of things, and we were happy. And compared to now, man, there's just no comparison.
Narcissistic. It's okay to screw this person over. Who cares? It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. Whatever. It's okay. This is what you get. You know, a lawless, even though we have laws in place, it's a lawless, wild, wild west. Just look at all the shootings we have in America, example, like I talked about in the other video. Look at all the shootings, look at all the violence, look at all the crap that people are doing to each other, and you tell me, all right, that you believe most people are good people, moral people, upstanding citizens who are willing to help each other and do the right thing and not screw each other over. You tell me that still exists, at least here in America. Tell me that still exists, because I don't see it. I look around and I don't see it anywhere. Where are the communities? Where are people helping each other? Where are the people putting people first and not over profits, over money? Where are people helping people, putting people over their God, over money, over profits, over material things, over what they want, versus helping somebody else? Where are those people? I don't see them.
Yeah, man. I don't see him either. It's cooked. You know, at this point, do what you got to do to survive, whether that be learning AI, saving up enough money and going to a different country. You know, just, you know, the dating scene here is cooked from what I'm hearing. It's just, unfortunately, the America that we once knew is gone, and it's not coming back. You know, it's just, we're moving into a whole new age now where the kids are going to be zombified, technological, cyberpunkish, dystopian world of just robots and just complete and utter nonsense that I personally don't want anything to do with. But I'm here, you know, and I'll be here, and that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I mean, as they say, get your bag and do what you got to do, brother. But yeah, I just wanted to react to Deconstructing here. Great video, brother. I like your channel. Subscribe. So guys, go check out his, you know, I got a small channel. I really don't make videos. I've been on and off, but I just figured I'd react to this one and promote his channel here. So, all right, take care, guys.